Whether you want more innovation more easily, you're feeling burnt out or overwhelmed, or you simply know that something isn't quite the way you know it can be, you are not alone. I hear the same from leaders every day. At Uncommon Leadership, we explore aligning personal fulfillment with business success, creating authentic teams, and cultivating the resilience, adaptability, and ease necessary to move beyond simply surviving today's challenges into thriving. I'm Michael Hunter with Uncommon Teams, and today we'll uncover fresh insights into what it means to lead today. Joining me is Natasha Sell. Natasha is the co-founder of Sutra.co, a social learning platform that has supported over 65,000 people participating in group learning experiences online. Sutra has supported programs at the Harvard Program in Refugee Trauma, the United Nations, the Presidency Institute, the World Health Organization, as well as many other organizations and individuals. That's a lot of big names, Natasha. I'm impressed. Natasha comes from 3 generations of educators and began her education career as a high school learning specialist in New York. She has led global education projects at Harvard and the Asia Society. Since 2009, she has been deeply engaged in connecting online communities through learning. She received her master's degree from the Harvard Graduate School of Education, focusing on leadership and development. And as if that isn't enough, she's also a certified yoga teacher and a trained facilitator, and today lives in Berlin, Germany. Welcome, Natasha.
Thank you, Michael. Yes, thank you for having me.
I have been looking forward to this conversation. And I better start with a full disclosure that I found Sutra while looking for a way to do online workbooks for my upcoming book, and the emails that came out of that showed me how aligned Sutra was with my mission. So I am using Sutra for that, and that relationship between me and Sutra is completely orthogonal to why I have Natasha on today, and neither of us have paid each other or doing any other compensation.
Yeah, and I'm really excited for you to be using Sutra to launch the workbook part of your project, and I know it's coming together, so it's really exciting to see how it's coming alive in the Sutra space.
I was really surprised from the very first email I received from you all, you were very much heart, body, mind, spirit integration focused on all of the messaging, on everything that you talked about in Sutra. And so I'm super, super curious on, when did you first recognize that integrating your whole self, bringing that into Sutra and everything else you do might be a valuable approach?
Yeah, thank you for that question. I think it can both go deep and also kind of reveal a lot about a person. I think for me, I wasn't like a career entrepreneur. I really just became an entrepreneur 11, 12 years ago when I joined my now partner and husband in this venture to create Sutra. And so previously, the organizations that I worked for, I was fulfilling a role, but I think becoming an entrepreneur and really leading my own company or co-creating something that's meaningful for me, I think it's a requirement to somehow, to really understand what it is that I want to create and invest my energy into and give my life to create in a way. So for me, it's been this journey of, first of all, a process of personal growth, of continuous personal growth, because it's not like I'm there. I'm continuing to evolve and grow and expand my own self-awareness and and also the importance of bringing that into not only my work, but with my team. So it's like this personal, yeah, it's like a multi-layered approach, because it's me bringing my whole self for myself so that I continue to check in with myself and why am I doing this? Why is this important to me? Is this inspiring me? And how is it making me feel about myself and my life? But then also with my team, the importance of bringing my whole self to be working with a small team in modeling, the importance of bringing our whole selves and allowing that in our team culture, so that everybody feels like you really try to create a family, a Sutra family here, with everyone who works with Sutra. And then beyond that, also bringing my whole self to work with our clients, because as you know, and as you've discovered us, we lead a lot of online workshops, and I facilitate a lot of online workshops to share more with our clients about how to create transformational experiences online. How do we use online tools to really design for more heart-centered approaches, kind of creating those kind of spaces online. So all of that, I think, especially when working with our clients who are just coming into our space new without knowing who we are and what we stand for, it's a way of modeling with my energy as the kind of company and the kind of values that we are, creating and sharing with others. So I think all of those pieces are kind of in combination, supporting bringing my whole self into my work. I don't know if there was like this one moment when I realized it, but certainly being an entrepreneur, I'm constantly kind of reminded to check in with myself. And I will say that, like, sometimes when I feel tired or burnt out or this kind of exhaustion, it's often when I disconnect from checking in with myself and seeing, kind of reconnecting to what is it that I'm inspired to do here, and which parts of myself am I ignoring or like not so aware of in certain projects. And yeah, so it's interesting to kind of observe my whole system, my whole body, especially the embodied part. I've learned to bring more of that in the last 5 years, I would say, just the importance of checking in with my body and how much the wisdom of the body has to communicate with me and where I'm at, and helps me kind of guide my energetic space better. Yeah, so maybe I'll pause there and see.
What helps you, Natasha, remember to check in with your body, it helps you notice those other signals that you're drifting away from bringing your whole integrated self to what you're doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a few practices that I have on a daily basis that allow me to, at least for that moment in time, to check in with myself. So I have a morning practice of I do some exercise and kind of get my body moving, but then I really take 30 minutes to just meditate or sit still, just in stillness. And after that, I do some journaling for myself. But that stillness really allows me to feel my body and check in with my body, and just to kind of take almost like a body scan for the day, and kind of tune into my inner self a little bit more. And the journaling really helps me. I have this journaling practice where I'm not thinking about anything, and just really allow my hand to guide whatever is trying to communicate. And sometimes it's something that's coming through the body for me, something in the mental space or emotional space. So that's always really interesting. So that's in the morning, but then throughout the day, and especially as I have different work projects or facilitate different experiences. Also, I don't know if you've been a part of some of our Zoom sessions that we lead online. We always take a moment to just arrive in the space wherever we're coming from. So again, taking a moment of stillness to just take a few deep breaths, and even just 3 deep breaths allows me to like land and arrive and just kind of, feel into my body and um, check in with myself. And if I'm tired, just allow that to be. Or if I feel energized, be present to that. So this constant practice, it's a practice of constantly bringing that awareness into, my day-to-day kind of experience.
What helps you extend that into the times where you're tired, stressed, meeting is going long or going in a different direction than you had hoped, and for right when you really need all of yourself there, and the parts of you are scattering away, or you're remembering to, you're forgetting to pay attention to maybe some of those. What helps you remember to take that moment and recenter and then re-enter the conversation with all of yourself?
Yeah, I think even when I'm tired in meetings or in spaces that I'm either participating in or facilitating or leading, I've developed a practice of deep presence. So just attuning myself to the people in the room and being really present with what they're sharing, and not just what they're sharing with their words and their communication, but really what they're sharing through their energetics kind of space and emotional space, or whatever I can pick up on if I'm attuned into the space. That really allows me to, be fully there and fully present. And if for some reason I do kind of, get distracted or something, I think it's easy for me to just, with the presence, tune back in, and not necessarily doing any kind of intentional practice of breathing or anything like that, just being really present and really curious and wanting to hear what the other person is saying. It helps me to stay focused and present in the room.
I know some of our audience is saying, this is great for Natasha. She's been doing this for a long time. I've never done any of this. I don't have a hope. For people who feel like they're in that space where they don't have a hope, how do you suggest, what's a good way for them to get started?
Yeah, first of all, I haven't been doing this for a long time, and absolutely, like, there's no such thing as not having a hope, right? So I think it's just starting with yourself. And so whatever it might be, just some kind of a personal practice. Like for me, it's the mornings. I like to take morning time to do my breathing and centering and kind of grounding. For some people, it's evenings, like after a long day, to reflect on, the day, and just allowing the body to relax a little bit and taking some deep breaths. So I think just finding what it might be, even if it's just carving out 5 minutes a day to just sit in stillness. I think stillness is so overlooked, just, carving out a little bit of time for quiet and stillness, because in that time of stillness, you don't even have to plan anything. You don't have to journal or meditate or think of it as prayer or meditation or anything. It could just be a moment of stillness and just be coming into practice of becoming an observer, observing what's happening in your mental space, observing what's happening in your emotional space, in your heart, what you might be feeling, observing what's happening in your body. My back might be hurting, or my shoulders feel tight. Just observing what's in your physical, emotional, mental space, and see what arises from that. I think that's the curiosity of kind of being your own explorer, kind of, this observer part of yourself, just carving out that time to just allow yourself to be still and just see what happens. And I think from that place, each person in their own way will be guided to maybe the next thing. Maybe for some people, it's like, wow, my body really needs me to give it a little bit more attention, and I want to do some stretching or yoga or exercise. And so, getting more into the physical space. For some people, it might be, I'm really appreciating this calmness and want to try meditation or something like that, because it really starts with creating our own space first. And then, the practice of being able to do that in group space, or as we're facilitating a meeting or a session or something like that. And so that's where I would start, because that's what helped me. That's how I started, and that's how it helped me. So hopefully that's easier to kind of get started with than what I was sharing.
And for people who may be thinking to themselves, I never have a moment to spare during the day, I'm gonna guess you go to the restroom once or twice, and that's at least a few moments that you had, hopefully, to yourself.
Yeah, I mean, I think there was an interview with the Dalai Lama that, I don't know if you heard about this, but he was asked, how much time per day do you meditate on a normal day? And he said something like, I don't know. Well, I don't remember the exact number, but it was like, okay, 1 hour. I meditate 1 hour on a regular day. And they were like, oh, wow, 1 hour, that's a very long time. So when you're busy, how do you carve out time to do it? He said, when I'm busy, I meditate 3 hours. Because taking that time for yourself will actually, I don't know how this happens, but I find it to be true, but it actually allows you to use the rest of your day more efficiently. At least for me, I'll speak for myself. It's almost like, the busier you get, the better you have to become at managing your schedule. And so, 10 minutes a day, I think should be easy enough to, maybe instead of scrolling Facebook or something on social media, to just say, you know what, myself really needs this, and gifting that time to yourself, almost like a little gift. Yeah.
I like that word, gifting back to ourselves. This has been some of how you help yourself do this. How do you help the people that you work with and the people on your team feel safe and empowered to bring their unique talents into everything that they do?
Yeah, I think for our team, like I said before, it was really important for us that we build a culture that feels like a family, where we're really, as the founders and kind of the bosses, but the founders of the company, from the very beginning, we communicated to our team that we're here to support them in their personal and professional growth, because I really feel like that very much goes hand in hand. So first, we do kind of like an intake interview process. So as we're interviewing to hire somebody, or after they join our team, we ask them some questions about what their goals are, what personal development goals, professional development, kind of what is their vision. Very much always kind of focusing and refocusing on the vision of the future. What is it that I'm creating with my life? What is it that you're creating for you, for your life? And being aware of that as both the managers and as a team. So for us, kind of making sure, I think, because of how we interview and because of how we hire, through that process, our team gets a real feel for what is important to us, which is that it's not just a job, that they're really here to develop themselves, and in also really caring about the company and the team, and adding their input into what we could be doing better. So there's this constant transparency and honesty and communication that is built. And we, I don't know how other teams do it, but we like to have weekly team meetings where we do a check-in. And most of it, it's not so much a check-in around projects. It's really just a check-in on the human level, like what's been happening with you and your family. Somebody had a baby, somebody's having a really hard time with a parent, or, just really giving space for these life human things to occur in a way that's not just like spilling everything and kind of oversharing, but just allows that to be present in the space. This is what I'm dealing with in the background. Like, there's all these projects and tasks. Yes, we can talk about that. There's efficiency that we bring to that. But, how are you doing, and what's happening in your personal space that you'd like to share with the team, that you want the team to be aware of? And sometimes we play games. Sometimes we ask each other fun questions. So we kind of pull from a variety of different good facilitation techniques to kind of just allow the full person to be in our space. And so it also just creates more connection for us to really know each other, support each other, encourage each other where it's needed. Yeah, I very much believe that you can't separate, life and work. It's all part of the same human being. So bringing that into the company space is really important to us.
I find that as well, that life and work all, if we, as much as we might try to bifurcate them into separate silos, they always end up flowing all together. And the check-ins I also consistently find are really useful. And that can be as simple as go around the room and each person says one word that's true for them right then. Even with 30 people in a meeting, that's, a minute or less. And it can really shift the dynamics of the rest of that.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And there's so many different, like if you're on Zoom with a lot of people, you can do the breakouts, just giving somebody a chance to voice what's present for them. And you're right. It could be just like a 3-minute thing and it's really quick, but it just makes them feel like they're co-creating the space with you energetically. So yeah, it's really important.
Yes. When you're working with your team on this is where the company's going, where are you going, your vision, the company's vision, the team people's visions sometimes can seem to not align at all. How do you help you and everyone else recognize where that alignment actually is?
Yeah, I mean, I think that first of all, it's really important, and I haven't always been very clear with this, but it's really important for us as the leaders of the company to be clear on what our vision is and how we envision getting there. And we have had most of the time, the team is very much aligned in that. I think just through, again, the check-ins, we also do like annual reviews. So those specifically focused on, your vision. Has something shifted? Has something changed? Is there something else that you might be interested in doing that we haven't implemented in your role? But if it really feels like our vision and their vision is not aligned and they really are wanting to, do something else or something that we can't offer, Lorenz and I, so my partner and I, we tend to really support them. If it's finding another place or another job, or maybe it's taking a training or program or something that will allow them. So it's constantly, I think, just caring about each other and caring about each other enough to support them in whatever it is that they want to do, even if it means leaving the company and joining some other company or doing some other work. So I think that's important. And I think our team feels that it's not like they don't have to work for us. They want to work with us, right? They're not here to, collect a paycheck. They really care about the space. So, yeah, I think that's something that we're really proud of, that it's really this very open and transparent communication back and forth.
What for you and for is the business value of helping someone leave your company? Doing all of these people forward, integrate, help them achieve their goals when your business is there to make money, or if your business doesn't make money, you can't give any of these people any of this support and love.
Yeah. So there's like a deeper spiritual dimension to this. One is that like I always, and my partner really helps me with this. So when I don't feel it as strongly, but we are very much, we are creating something where we are in service of of bringing more love and connection to the world. So I can just share, that's our deepest heart desire. We're really trying to bring more love and connection into the world. The way we do that is through creating this online learning platform. But the deeper underlying intention is that, and I feel very much when we're in service of that and are clear that that's what the intention is, and that's how we make our decisions, then we feel very much supported. So if that means like an employee leaves our company, the next one that comes around is even better, or a better fit for our growth or for the next chapter of what we are looking to do. It's kind of this, I had a friend who joked with me when I was still dating and not married, but kind of, and I was breaking up with a boyfriend, and they were saying, well, when has the universe ever given you somebody worse than your previous boyfriend? Like, the universe always gives you a better partner, right? The next one is always better than the previous. So it's kind of like this with work too, because we just believe in what we're doing, and it's really our life's work, and we believe, wholeheartedly that we're in service of bringing more love and connection into the world. Like we always somehow attract incredible employees. Even if one leaves, the next one comes, and it's like, they blow our mind how amazing they are. So there's this trust that's been proven through experience, I guess. So yeah, that's why I think I can just fully trust that we can support each other in being in this journey. So in terms of business value, it creates actually more retention, I think, because our team might be, some of them might be underpaid for what they do, but they will still, stay with us because they believe in what we're doing. They believe in us, and, they're very much feel like they're a part of a family and a team that they want to be continuing to support. So there's these kind of, these different, I guess, what's the right word? Like, something good, something, this balance, this equal balance of what we're able to offer our team. And sometimes because we're a fully self-funded small company, sometimes on the salary department, it hasn't been as enriching for them. So we really try to make sure that all the other areas are fully supported, and they feel really good working with us. Yeah.
This is all great for your employees. For people who are evaluating Sutra and wondering, all this lovey-dovey, people squishy forward integrated stuff, like, how is this going to help my mission? How do you help them make that connection?
Yeah, and I would say that the majority of the people who use Sutra are actually professional, people who work in the professional development world. So people who work with leadership development or organizational change, any kind of societal change or transformational organizational change. So it's different levels of professional services that people provide for either individual clients or organizational clients or corporate clients. So the way that we've designed our platform was to really focus on how to create more meaningful connection between the participants, between the members who are participating in an experience. So whether it's a community or a course or a workbook or, a digital book or something that you're creating, how do we create it so it's not just the content that's being delivered, but that the focus is on who are the people that are engaging in this program, and how do we create more meaningful connection and interactions and engagements between them and what they're sharing. And so the value for our clients is that they get to create courses or experiences that have more impact in their clients or participants' lives, because there's more engagement with the content. It's not just kind of a download of, content or videos at a self-paced kind of way. It's really an experience that's meant to create reflection and sharing and group process in a digital space where a lot of times it's a very isolating space to be in. So really focusing on creating more meaningful connection. I think the value for them is that they not only have more impact with the content that they do, they also have more retention. So there's a much higher percentage of people who complete the programs that they start with those programs, and a higher percentage of referrals and continuity working with that creator. So maybe there is a level 2 program, or there's a community membership space that they can join. They also refer more of their friends and colleagues to partake in these courses. So it's all part of this model of creating more meaningful engagement and connection in the online space, which has a lot of ripple effect of benefit to both the participant and especially the creator.
As you're going through all of this with yourself, with your team, with your clients and customers, I imagine you're all right there with the rest of us, that there's a lot of change, uncertainty, overwhelm that goes with building a business, being part of a small self-funded business, building out a course on even an amazing platform like Sutra. How do you help yourself and your people and your customers find their way through all of that?
Yeah, Michael, I think that really, for me, kind of what I shared earlier starts with um, both us and them understanding their vision, like having clarity of vision. What is it that they're creating? Even if they don't know how to get there yet, but at least having the vision of what is it that I want to create in the world, or what is it I'm creating with my work, or for my clients. So that is number one. And we do, we often say, a platform, like we created a platform, but a platform doesn't magically solve all these, questions for you and answer all these questions for you. So we also offer a lot of workshops, and some of them are vision, like in the beginning of the year, or towards the end of the last year and beginning of this year, we did several vision setting workshops, just helping our clients really understand what is it that they're wanting to create in the world, and then kind of working backwards from that and helping them understand how they can work with Sutra if they're wanting to try out Sutra. So just this, I think, modeling what's possible is one way, and constantly coming back to this why, to the bigger vision, and because I think if we're connected to that, figuring out how to get there becomes easier, because then I'm clear. Oh, this I know, this I don't know. I need support with this, and then there's places and people to reach out to who can support me in the different areas where I'm uncertain of. But if I'm not clear in my vision, if I'm uncertain around what I'm creating and for who and what's next, that's a little bit more of a challenging place to be. And I think that's maybe an opportunity to take some time to, whether on your own or with some guidance with a coach or somebody who can guide that process, to gain that clarity of vision, and to kind of get you to a place where you can, in your heart, really know, like, yes, this feels good to me, and now I want to figure out how to get there. And yeah, I think that, from my experience, has been the thing that has helped the most, just kind of being very, very clear on the vision and what I'm here to create and who I'm here to serve, and helping our clients, figure out the same, so it's easier then to help them build whatever they're creating on Sutra.
And when we don't have that clarity yet, that's okay.
That's okay. And I was going to ask you, how do you do it for yourself? Like, how do you navigate these uncertainties? And I think everybody has their own methods, but yeah, I'm just curious.
One thing I found really helpful for myself, and also for everyone I work with, is making everything a tiny step If it's too scary to take, there's always a way to make it smaller, so it's small enough that it feels safe to take. And framing everything as a tiny experiment.
Yes, exactly.
Because that removes all the judgment and expectations. Experiments give us data. They don't succeed or fail. They might turn out differently than we hoped, but that's not a success or a failure. It's just data. Then we can incorporate that into our evaluating, consideration, deciding what the next step in experiment is to take and make.
Yeah, exactly.
And as I do that, as I help my clients do this, staying aware for myself as much as I can right then, helping my clients as much as they can right then, as you were saying earlier, being aware of what's going on for me, for them, internally, externally, all the way through. If our shoulders twitching as we consider doing a certain thing, for some people that means, oh, that's way too big and scary. For other people that might mean, oh, that's super exciting. I can't wait to get started. And being aware and recognizing what that means for us, not what someone else might have told us or we think it should mean for us.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. I would just add that for us, for Sutra, I would say for our team, for our community, one of our favorite words that we always use is prototype. So whenever somebody comes to us and they're like, I don't know where to get started, it's like, so prototyping your way to exactly what you shared. Like, what is the next smallest, like, feasible step that you can take to collect data from the real world? So whether it's not even creating anything online on Sutra, but maybe it's just bringing a group of friends together to have a conversation about a topic that you're passionate about and want to explore, right? So it's just exactly those little steps to collect real world data, not just mental data from your head, right? But real world data from people who are engaging with you in some way and interviewing them afterwards, like about their experience or what they thought. So yeah, absolutely, I'm with you. So prototyping, we have lots of workshops on prototyping and experimenting and iterating through the process. Yeah.
For people who would like to learn more about Sutra, learn more about how you help people and teams bring everything that they do to everything they are and to everything that they do, what's the best way for them to connect with you?
Yeah, thank you, Michael. So the best way probably to connect with us is to go to sutra.co, CUTRA.co, and join our newsletter. This is, Michael, how you kind of found us and probably connected to how we share what we share, because what we share through our newsletter is a lot of personal stories and personal insights around not only running a company, but it's specifically around creating transformation in the world and creating transformational experiences. Yes, our focus is in the online part, but I think a lot of the methodology is transferred to in-person facilitation work and things like that. So the newsletter is a great way for people to get to know us, because we also we offer a lot of free public workshops. Again, because we really want people to be informed and what is possible to create, because once you have a direct experience of what is possible in an online space, then it's also much easier to envision what you can create or what you'd like to create. So I would go to sutra.co and sign up for our newsletter. If you would like to play around with the platform, if you have a course or program that's ready to go or you've been wanting to try out, there's a free trial on all our plans, so you can start for free and play around with it and let me know how you like the experience. You'll receive some emails from me if you sign up for the platform, because I share some tips and things when you get started.
Sounds great. And I'll have all those links in the show notes. What would you like to leave our audience today with, Natasha?
I think a big part of my journey, what has really helped me, um, well, there are two things. One, of course, for me in my entrepreneurial journey, being in this leadership position has really helped. And you might find this very funny, but being in a partnership role with my husband. So my husband and I were co-founders of this company, and we're obviously life and work partners. And there's this been incredible balance of us supporting each other in our personal and professional growth. But I think for me also as a woman and as a female entrepreneur, it's been really, really important to balance, like we shared earlier, kind of taking the time to tune into myself and my own internal needs and, personal needs and desires, and developing that practice of attunement, however that might be in other people's lives. I would really encourage you to try out different ways to find what that might be for you, whether it's that moment of stillness or journaling or walk in the woods or whatever it might be, to have that moment to connect to yourself for that inner wisdom to be a stronger guide. Because for me, that's been really, really transformative in how I live and how I lead our company and how I interact with our employees and clients. And that's all because I really make that space and create that space to connect to this deeper part of myself, and having that be a strong compass for how I live.
Thank you, Natasha, for being with us today.
Thank you, Michael. Yeah, thank you for having me. I'm really, really looking forward to what you're going to create and the kinds of experiences that your participants will have on Sutra through your workbook and this process. And looking forward to your launch on Sutra as well.
So am I.
Yeah, coming soon, right? So
for some definition of soon.
All about prototyping.
Thank you, audience. It's all about prototyping. Tiny steps and tiny experiments. Thank you, audience, for joining us today. Natasha and I would love to know what helps you tune in to your inner wisdom. Thanks, and have a great day.
Thank you so much.